Ciara granted citizenship from Benin, being descended from slaves. We are Hebrew Israelites, not African. This is Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, and I will also forget thy children. The so-called Negroes, the so-called African Americans, the black people that are in America, they are Hebrew Israelites. We are not African. We migrated to Africa over the centuries from the land of Israel. But before I proceed, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son's name, YAHAWASHI, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, taught me this truth. Single honors to the elect. Peace and blessing to the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Now, looking at what's going on here, you got Ciara. They said that they gave her wrong thing. Come on now, calm down. And they're saying that they gave her citizenship back to Benin. Now, for those of you who don't know, understanding Benin, you have to go into the history. Why would Benin be giving citizenship to so-called Negroes in Africa? In America. Because Ciara, right? Well, let me show you something. You have to go into a little bit of history. So, if you type up Kingdom of Judah, West Africa, this is what AI is going to give you on Google. The Kingdom of Judah, mentioned in relation to West Africa, refers to the historical kingdom of Wida, also spelled Oida or Huda, located in present-day Benin. This kingdom was a significant center for the transatlantic slave trade and is sometimes depicted on historical maps as Judah or Judah. It's crucial to distinguish this West African kingdom from listen what they say though. It's crucial to distinguish this West African kingdom from the historical kingdom of Judah in the Levant, modern day Israel. What do you mean to distinguish? See, what happened is in 70 AD, Vespasian and his sons Titus and Domitian did a great slaughter to the Jewish estate, which would be the Israelites back then. It's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu by an author named Rudolph Windsor. He's a Jake too. He spoke like 5 different languages, and he was very, very in tune to history. And he quoted this. 70 AD, Vespasian and his son Titus and Domitian did the great slaughters to the Jewish estate. He said they fled to northern Africa. The slave market was full of millions of black Jewish slaves. That's what he said. That's what he said. I mean, hell, even today you have the philosopher Jews over in Ethiopia. And I believe Ethiopia believed to have one of the oldest Bibles around. But that's besides the point. I'm trying to get somewhere. The same people that was in the west coast of Africa, they are the same people that migrated from what you call Palestine to Israel today. They've just been living along the northern part of Africa for centuries until 1492 happened. Okay? Now, let me just read some of this article really quick. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm going to use this as an example as to they know who we are, but they want us to be something else. Okay, they want us to forget who we are. All right? It says it in Psalms. Matter of fact, let me get that really quick since I mentioned it. It says Psalm 83. I will read the KJV, which is the left side of the screen for where the app is, and you can read the right side if you want. Most people like the NLT. Psalm 83:1. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, your people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. This is heavy. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. It gets heavier. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And it goes on to speak on the names of the heathens. And who was the first heathen that gets spoken of? Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom. And I'm going to just leave it right there because I don't want to venture off. But they want to take the name of Israel out of the world to the point they call themselves Jewish today. They don't even call themselves Israelites. But I leave that alone. And also, another note to be made too. They don't. You notice how they will call us black, nigger, Negro, Afro-American, African, and giving us all these proverbs and bywords like the Bible said, right? In the book of Deuteronomy 28. And they invest billions, like you can really say, billions if you want, into Africa history, Africa culture. They give us all these Africa culture names and all the African cultures and all these different types of things in these schools and Chet at the Diop and all of that. Because they want you to forget who you are. Right? And it's a lot more information I can bring out because the first slaves came from Spain and Portugal. They don't tell you that. The first slaves came from Spain and Portugal. Why you think in Ghana they have a Spanish name for the castle that they had us going away on slave ships? I think it was called El Camino Castle. Because in Portuguese is like it's like a mixture of like Spanish with some Swahili, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry, Swahili is like Hebrew, Spanish, and French or something like that. In other words, it's all derived from Latin. All right, you only got 4 major languages. You have Hebrew, Greek, Latin, and English. All right. But anyway, so that's why they got El Camino Council there. Because Jake, who were the Moors living in Spain and Portugal, they already had trade routes internationally. This is what y'all don't know. Believe it or not, we were already doing trades with Ham. Hell, we had the Kingdom of Judah in the west coast of Africa. Before 1492, man, Africa was on its way to become the world's international trading hub. But 1492 had to happen because of prophecy. You know, the devil, Satan, had to be loose out of his cage after 1,000 years just to deceive the world for a little while, hence called the Renaissance era. But I digress. I don't want to put the carriage before the horse. I'm getting a little excited now. Let me get back. Salakia. I love history. But anyways, it says the move is part of a wider initiative by Benin to attract the black diaspora. I'm just going to read it verbatim, y'all, just trying to save time. Acknowledge its historical involvement in the transatlantic slave trade and boost tourism center on the sites of remembrance linked to slavery. Hold on, we don't need to go to no damn. That's like me doing time in the penitentiary, but then you're going to bring me back to the cell I was in, you know, to sully over. No, that's some bullshit. By legally recognizing these children of Africa, Benin is healing a historical wound. It is in an act of justice, but also one of belonging and hope. Ain't no fucking justice by telling us to go back to the place we were slaves at. See, now I'm getting upset. Forgive me, y'all. Let me do this really quick. I got to. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1 through 7. For behold, let me put some justice on the screen again. Joel 3 and 1 through 7. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, Judah the southern kingdom, Jerusalem the northern kingdom. Another reason how you can't discover a piece of land that's been inhabited for millenniums. Since 722 BC, the northern kingdom been over here in the Americas today. I mean, over here in what is known as the Americas today. That's what I meant to say. So in other words, it was already inhabited. So continuing on, because it says in Jeremiah 50 and 33, it says Judah and Israel, or Judah and Jerusalem was oppressed together. Because we were split up for a long time. That's why the Bible, that's why the elder apostle Kabar said, you must, in order for you to know the mystery, you must know the history. If you read in Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel, when they're talking about Babylon, they're talking about the Medes and Persians, when they're talking about the Greek and Rome, you notice it's only mainly talking about the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But I digress. Like I said, I don't want to venture off from this, but you got to connect the history with the mystery. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. That Joel 3 and 2 is so heavy. Listen what it says. Gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew is YAHAWASHI, which is broken down to Yahweh judge. If you look at an ancient map, Jehoshaphat is pretty much where Israel is today, known as the Levant. The Lord is gathering all nations down there, because once Israel had hit Iran's one of the facilities, you pretty much dragging Esau over here in the United States and Babylon into that war. Remember what the scripture says? The least of the flock shall draw them out. Israel's going to draw America, the mystery of Babylon, into that war. But I digress. And will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage, whom they have scattered among the nations. We're the only people on the face of the earth who have been physically displaced. Only people that literally physically displaced. And understand this, people, the whole world was involved. There's no way you have centuries of slavery with all this supply with no demand. Who the fuck was buying all of the product? The rest of the world. That's why the Lord said, no man shall save thee. So who really needs salvation and redemption, people? I digress. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my... Oh, sorry, forgive me. When it says, whom they have scattered among the nation and part of my land, aren't they over there fighting in the Gaza and in Palestine with the West Bank and all that? It's divided. People, this is history. So much history in one verse. That's beautiful. Joel 3 and 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And I always bring up the TV series Roots. You see Caucasian looking men who are Edomites, and you see melanated men who look like Africans. Those are the real Africans, the real Hamites. Those individuals, those two heathen nations, came together and sold the Mandingo tribe, the warrior tribe, which were Israelites. Go and watch. It's a scene you can probably find on YouTube. I got it on one of my old channels, because I know Esau trying to erase it. It's a 30-second clip where this Edomite dude, he's healing a wound on an African or something like that, and then they're talking, and then the one dude, they said Shaka Zulu, and everybody got frightened and scared, and they're like, "Woo!" And then he pointed and said, "Who are those people over there?" And he said, "Those are the wandering Jews." When they panned the camera, all it showed was dark-skinned people, melanated people. And it kept putting a repeat, those are the wandering Jews. Those are the wandering Jews. And when they pan the screen, it shows melanated people. This is in one of the episodes from the series Shaka Zulu. They know, y'all. They know they not like us, and we damn sure ain't like them. Even the Lord said in Exodus 11, he surely made a distinction between the Egyptian and the Israelite. Okay? I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to show you something. Joel 3 and 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boyfriend a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? and all the coast of Palestine. Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Understand this. We're talking about Tyre and Sidon. You have to go back to when the land was called Canaan before the Lord gave it to the Israelites, and then it was named Israel. Today, what the place that's called Israel, that piece of land, think about that small strip of land the world going crazy over. But everybody, come on, it's sacred. But it was called Canaan before. You got to read the book of Joshua before we went in there and we pushed out the Hittites, the Girgasites, the Jebusites, the Hivites. We pushed all of those descendants of Ham out, which were Canaanites. Okay, so Tyre and Zidon, this is pretty much saying, you Hamites, what have you to do to the Lord? What have you to do for me? Right? Joel 3:5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. Come on, y'all. So when Esau's lying when they say your own people sold you, no, the Lord clearly said Tyre and Zidon. That mean that the Hamites, the Canaanites sold us. So why y'all keep trying to say we're Africans? We're not Africans. We're just living in those quarters during that time. And again, the first slaves came from Portugal and Spain. The bulk only came from Africa, and it wasn't even. I'm not gonna even say that like that because it don't make sense when they're trying to say that we're all an African over here, United States of America. I got some information to show you that the vast majority of the slaves that came from West Coast are actually in the Caribbean and in Brazil. So the Judahites over here in America, we already been here before Esau even got here. You wanna know why? And you wanna know how? Because trade routes with Solomon. Remember, Solomon was bringing back peacocks and bringing back. They said he would get with the. I'm kind of getting all over the place. Tarshish, the sailors of Tarshish, and they said out of a year and a half change, they would go to another land and stuff like that. Was talking about over here in Americas because Northern Kingdom was already over here. I mean, come on. What about the big blockhead down there in South America of the Olmecs? The Hamites left that there. We didn't leave that there. The Hamites left that there though, with the big lips and all that. Come on, Esau, stop it. But let's get back. Joel 3:6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, Edomites, that ye might remove them far from the border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And that goes back to Revelation 13. He that leads to captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with a sword. Not might, it said must be killed with a sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So when y'all be saying, oh, when no saints come marching in, oh, when no saints come, yeah, them saints are the angels ready to take blood. But anyhow, so I want to show y'all something really quick. More proof that we are not Hamites or Africans, and they know that. This is from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. This is the Bible right here. I'm sorry, the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. That's how it will look on the cover at the top part of that, top half of that. But this is the actual excerpt. This is the actual definition of Ham in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Pay close attention. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. People, the people who actually created the Zondervan Bible Dictionary are scholars. Do you think this is a typo? You think they made a miscalculation? They know who the hell we are. The devil will always show you subliminal messages, and subliminal messages is like what FBI use. They use the black light to look for blood and semen and urine and all kind of genetic DNA when they're looking at crime scenes. That's what these all do with subliminal messages. But you know what? That light, we also have that light to shine on that too to see what the hell they're doing. That's having the spirit of discernment to know good and evil. But anyway, let's get back to it. So he became the progenitor. Progenitor means the father of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So if it says the Negroes, that means that we can't be Egyptian, we can't be Ethiopians, we can't be Libyans, we can't be Canaanites. Well, damn, we just can't be African. So then what are we? Man, call lawyer like YAHAWASHI, HALAL for all of this beautiful wisdom. You think they're going to teach you in the school of theology? And why the scripture says the poor man's wisdom is despised, because they look at us as poor because we're not up there with gold cuff links and, riding exotic cars, when the Lord said, no, you're not, that it's easy for you to fit a camel through the eye when leading for a rich man into the kingdom of heaven. They'll read that and still give that man their money. Like the Lord said, you tell the man with the gay clothing. When it says gay, it means with the fine clothing. But I'm just telling you what it says in KJV. If you go to the man with the gay clothing, you tell him to sit here next to me. But the poor man, you tell him to sit at that footstool. And the Lord said, no, ye not. I have chosen the poor of the world, rich in faith. But I digress. Oh, and I have some more information to prove to you that we are not Hamites. We're not African. I'm talking about here in the Americas. They try to make it seem like African. Approximately 6% of the enslaved Africans, or Israelites, I would say, transported across the Atlantic were brought to the present day United States. Let that sink in, y'all. The vast majority of enslaved Israelites were taken to other parts of the Americas, primarily the Caribbean and South America. For example, Brazil and Jamaica received a significant number of enslaved Africans. A significant number. Brazil and Jamaica. That's why it's so diverse down in Brazil. So think about this. If only 6% made it, right? So I did some more information, more calculations. Historical data suggests that approximately 12.5 million Israelites were captured and forcibly transported across the Atlantic between 1500 and 1866 as part of the Atlantic transatlantic slave trade. I've been talking a lot. Let me drink some water real quick, Salakia. So out of this number, around 10.7 million survived in the horrific journey, also known as the Middle Passage. So I said, okay, 6% of 11 million. The number, where is it? What's the number I got? This is the number I got, y'all. And I just did this off the humbug. Just off the humbug through the spirit. So you mean to tell me over 660,000 slaves came from the off the west coast of Africa, which is 6% of the totality, only made it to the United States. And y'all keep calling us African American? We're not. We Hebrew Israelites. We already been here. And Salakia. There's also a book. Now you gotta learn how to pick the meat from the bones. I'm a little excited because this is I love history, I love the truth. It said they came before Columbus, the African presence in ancient America. There's some information in there where he tried to say the Egyptians sailed here, things like that. No, that's not true. But this is a prime example that we've already been here. When they dug up Lucille, I think down in South America, they said that her DNA went all the way back to a Negroid woman. It didn't say Oriental. It did not say Caucasian. It said Negroid woman. So y'all can stop that. Okay? Also, the lost lunar stone in Mexico, over a 2,000 pound rock that has the Paleo Hebrew written on it, the 10 Commandments in Paleo Hebrew, and they said it dates. No, I'm sorry, I don't know. It weighs a lot of tons, but it's 2,000 years. I got the numbers mixed up in my head. I have photo memory a little bit. It's 2,000 years predates Columbus, which goes back to when I say they've been here for millenniums, because 722 BC goes back to the Northern Kingdom being here. You would have to read Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, like the 39th verse all the way down. It speaks about them literally coming here on boats. That's why they took the Apocrypha out of the 1611 King James Version Bible. I keep mine on deck. Salaki, I'm just excited right now. But let's get back to this, y'all. I think I had, was that a little bit more? Was this a little bit more? All right. Virginia, Indians may be classified with Negro race, but we were the same people. It was just a distinction they were trying to make against us. It's known as divide and conquer. Esau will divide and conquer us. Notice they all come from Europe. Spain, some of us speak Spanish. England, some of us speak English. From France, some of us speak French. But all the people that they brought here are all the same people. But notice how we all speak different languages, claim quote unquote different cultures, and they have divided and conquered us. But we all the same people. Come on, y'all, wake up. But anyhow, let me just close out. Let me get my precepts and close out. I think I said enough. I had a lesson, but the lesson just ran through like that. But this is the point. Ezekiel 39 and 23 to 29. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity. All y'all heathens. A heathen is anyone that's not descended from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, period. That's a heathen. Hands down. And the Gentile also. Because they trespassed against me, therefore hid I my face from them and gave them. Listen what the Lord said. And gave them. So pride had deceived you, Esau, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. You really think you came from the caves and ruled the whole world on your own accord? Think about that, dude. You really think you descended from the Caucasus Mountains by the Black Sea and the caves, and you not rule the world because you land your nest amongst the stars? The Lord said you was going to do that because he gave you the power. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. That means it had been taken from the righteous. Okay. Spoofing. Ezekiel 39 and 24. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them and hid my face from them. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. His name is Yahawah, and his only begotten son's name is YAHAWASHI. After that they have borne their shame and all their trespasses whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. When I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, because remember, we scatter all over the world, transatlantic slave trade, and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations. We're sanctifying the Lord right now in the sight of many nations because we're literally out there on the corners, y'all. When had this ever happened in history? Other than when Paul was out there. But Yahawashi was on the scene then. Come on, man. Paul them was out there is what I want to say, but that's what I thought. But all respect to all the prophets and the apostles. Anyways, getting back to it. Ezekiel 39 and 28. Then shall they know that I am the Lord their God, which caused them. Listen what the Lord said. He said it, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them into their own land and have left none of them anymore there. That's the future prophecy, that part. But the Lord said that he's the reason why. And that he's going to be the reason why we go back. Not a by-floor declaration. Think about that. Not a 1948 law. The Lord said he going to do it. Not man. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's keep going. Ezekiel 39 and 29. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, saith the Lord God. That's very true, because you're here with me today, and this truth is to you transparent. Like the Lord said, his ways are simple to the righteous, but they're stumbling blocks to the wicked. So that's how you can discern whether or not if you're righteous or wicked. If you're still here, Shalom. I'm going to close out Baruch chapter 4, verse 26 through 37. My delicate ones have gone rough ways and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto God, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. The Lord keep telling you, you know I did this. I'm letting y'all heathens know too. They went into captivity because of their sins. It ain't because y'all thought y'all gonna rule the world and be, no. The Lord letting you know he orchestrated it. So he gonna save us too. Just be patient. Okay? Anyways, let's get back to it. Baruch 4:27. And Baruch, by the way, y'all, is in the Apocrypha. For those of you who say Baruch is not canon, I suggest you read, what is it, Jeremiah 43, because he was his scribe. Baruch 4:27. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto God, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from God, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. That's what forgiveness is. But repentance starts with you acknowledging that you were at fault. And then now that requires you to be humble. And that's hard for a lot of people to do today, which is why a hard head gonna make a soft ass and their pride gonna go before their destruction. Like a domino effect, full of emotions though. Verse 29. For he that have brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Who needs salvation? We do. We the only ones who still plagued. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. What does Jerusalem mean? Jerusalem pronounced, I think it's YAHAWASHI, which means city of peace. The new Jerusalem descending from the heaven. What's that? Revelation 14:31, verse 31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. The whole world. The Lord saying y'all gonna be miserable in that day. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. Who is she? The mystery whore Babylon. Old virgin daughter of Babylon. Verse 33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. With the cow Rittenhouse face. Double. The fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time, meaning that America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear warheads, and no one's going to be inhabiting this place. It's going to be for a memorial, just like how Sodom and Gomorrah was an ensample of what sin looks like after the Lord judges it. The most heinous of sin. Anyhow. Verse 36, O Jerusalem, Yarashashalom, Yarashalawam. I think I said it right. Look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from God. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west. Listen to this, y'all. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word. How are we being gathered? By the word. Yahawashi said, my sheep hear my voice. And then he goes on to say, you are not of my flock, you are not of my sheep, because you hear not my voice. It's, man, Yahawashi heavy, man. Yahawashi Jacob Jakes. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of God. So we are not Africans. We are Hebrew Israelites. And the title, once again, Ciara granted citizenship from Benin, being descended from slaves. We are Hebrew Israelites, not Africans. So with that being said, I truly pray y'all was edifying, fed, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness. Paradox season. Stay humble. Remain diligent. MashaAllah. Waffle ball. Shalom. And y'all, just imagine Russell Wilson and Ciara with a new heart in the kingdom. You already look fly. Just imagine them being holy though. Shalom. Love my people that hate their ways.